everybody. Welcome, welcome. One second here. How's it going, everybody? My name is Daniel Slocky, and I am the man behind the scenes here for Wednesdays with William. Welcome to another edition. Once again, welcome, everybody. Louise, I see your hand raised. Elizabeth, thank you for the little hello as well. Today, we've got two special guests, which I'm super excited about. We're going to be talking with celebrity photographer Tim Courtney, and we're also going to bring on a surprise guest in just a little bit as well. So once again, we like this to be as interactive as possible. So go ahead and utilize the chat down below. You can also submit your questions for a Q&A session as well, which I'll be monitoring. And just in case you ask a question in the chat, I will make sure that that gets asked as well. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our host and our beloved runway model turned makeup guru extraordinaire, William Squire. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm loving your jacket and your bow tie, looking so fancy today.
Well, thank you. I thought honor Tim Courtney. I mean, we're back in Hollywood. We're with the rich and the famous, and so I thought I'd dress appropriately for Tim today. But thank you for noticing. I appreciate that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesdays with William. My name is William Squire, and again, thank you for being here. I look forward to Wednesday, and it just feels like we're all getting together for hopefully some fun, and I hope you learn something and get some information, some questions answered. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You know what? I don't have a lot of. I'm not going to answer questions today. I generally like to start with some of your questions, and I have a lot to answer. But next week, I'm just going to tell you right now, next week is what I call our family show. Does anyone remember Carol Burnett? And she would always do, like, the end of the season, she would do her family show where it was just like her family or her guest stars. So next week is going to be my family show. It's just going to be myself and Daniel, of course, and we're going to answer every question you can imagine, the questions I've been answered for the last 30 years. And hopefully it'll be very informative and a lot of fun. So anyway, no questions or answers from me this afternoon, but welcome to Palm Springs. It's a beautiful 120 degrees today. So I hope where you are is bearable, and we're in the middle of summer, so all we can do is enjoy each day, of course. Thank you so much for Joy. Wasn't she fun last week? I just can't even tell you how much I enjoyed having her here. We will, by next week, she gave a beautiful list of products she recommends, that sort of thing. And by next week, our YouTube channel, I'm going to do a double cross here, will be up and about. And so you'll be able to watch each of the Wednesdays with Williams that you might have missed, as well as any of our recommendations, or Joy will have a list of the products that she recommended as well. And that should be all up YouTube next week. I'll make sure and tell you about it next Wednesdays with William, or we'll announce it on Facebook sometime this week. Thank you. Last but not least, before I bring on my friend and our special guest, thank you for signing up for the newsletter. I do appreciate it. It just makes it easy for me to kind of do a quick newsletter to everyone. And we do have some specials that are coming out. Specials, I don't like that word. We do have some promotions and some exciting news that will be going out to the newsletter probably at the end of the week about next week and the new product. So if you haven't signed up, billiesblues.com and sign up for the newsletter. All right, have I chatted enough? You're tired of me. We have to bring on our special guest, because this is somebody that I never knew when I was in LA. It's funny, we met each other when we got to Palm Springs. I've been in Palm Springs about 15 years, and I think Tim's been here about the same amount of time. But in Hollywood, I knew of him. You know, all the agents talked about him. I knew his name. A lot of times when I was running the modeling agencies, people would come in and I would see his work, and I would see his work in the LA Times. So it's funny that I had heard of him, but I never had the opportunity to meet him until I came out here to Palm Springs. And then when we did meet, of course, we became fast friends, and we've certainly worked together. And he's just a delight, so I'm excited you get to meet him and ask some questions of Tim today. Let me show you a little bit of his work. I think I showed you a few things last week, but again, his work is, well, we'll talk to him about it. It's so unusual and so unique to me, because more than just a photo, he just captures the person, he captures the mood, he captures really just so much about who he's shooting rather than just the photo. Of course, Sir Ian McKellen, Fran Drescher, some of these I think you might have seen. And a picture of Shirley MacLaine. I went on his website and search through some things I haven't seen myself for quite a while, but that shot of Shirley MacLaine is beautiful. So of course he's known for celebrities, but he's also done fashion work. His fashion work is just phenomenal. He's even done, I guess you'd call commercial work. I look at, this is a photo that Tim did, and it reminds me of a realtor. I don't know if maybe, or a businessman, but he does the entire spectrum from fashion to real people, to families, to almost everything. So he really got the eye, the talent. This was Tim. I found this shot. I think you recognize the beautiful model there. That's Sandra Allen, of course, the face of Billy's Blues. And this was on a Crystal cruise that Tim came aboard a few years back. I forget. I think it was from New York to Lisbon. And Tim was on, and he was giving us all tips with photography. Not only, of course, does he do photography, and he's known for that. He lectures now across the country. And then we're also going to talk about his new work as a psychic medium. So without further ado, Tim, are you there? I think it's time to meet, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim Courtney. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Tim. Good to see you. I can say you probably know half the audience, at least or more, because some of them are people you've met or fans of yours or fans of mine or family members, I feel like it, from Crystal and from different areas. But thank you for joining and relaxing and being here with us. You look great.
Thank you. I should be great after being in San Diego a few days. So it's like I, got some cooler air and feel good, and enjoyed some wonderful Italian food in Little Italy. I'm set.
Yeah, one day we'll do a show, Tim. We'll just talk about Tim and his passion for coffee and desserts. It could be an entire show, him eating sweets around the world, drinking coffee. I love that. We did it in Portugal, in fact.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I went on from that trip and went to Munich and Berlin, and traveled around for another month after that. So
we're going to do it again, right? Promise me. We're all going to get together and do it again. Yes, I know that. I believe that. Hey, Tim, before we get to some of your photos and some of our questions for you, can you give me just a brief, what have you done since the day you were born? Or maybe not that so much, but how did you get into this, and how did the passion and how did this gift of photography into your life?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Right in there, it's like I was around age 35, and I was looking for a shift. I've been a singer for many years, and I was looking for a change. And I kind of fell in for like a year and a half in between, like doing massage work. Said, this is no way this is going to be a career. And it's like I went, no offense to it, just wasn't for me. But I went right into looking at LA Weekly. And I was looking at painting. I thought, oh, I'll be a painter, and looked over, and I didn't like the painting classes I saw, and I put my finger right on an ad that said Basics on Photographing People for $65 for a 6-week course, 1 night a week. And I put my finger and said, I did the I am, and it's that powerful thing. And I just put my finger and said, I am a photographer. Never owned a camera in my life, had to go get one the next day, didn't even know what to get. I had to get some help at Sammy's Camera there on Fairfax, and got a little $500 camera and a cheap little lens, and took off, did this course. And in the short of that to get there, that happened in June of 97. In June of 98, I was at B. Arthur's house doing a magazine cover. I did a spread, and, I did something just a little amazing on that. I'll attach is, the creative director, one that hired me. I just happened to slide in when someone got fired 2 days before, and a friend of mine suggested me, you know how that works. And otherwise it may never have happened. But I never even thought about photographing celebrities. It was always black and white news, artsy photographer, and that changed that day, changed my life.
But there was, obviously there's a gift that came. It came to you, though. Obviously you've been successful, you've enjoyed it. And people around the world love your work. So it's good that you decided to do that, because obviously there is a gift involved and you have the talent. So
thank you. Yes, it's been special. I get asked a lot, like, why do you think that happened? And I had no evidence whatsoever that I could do it. I really didn't. Never owned a camera, and it wasn't a passion or interest. But there was something inside of me really deep that every time I ever did a photo shoot, from the very first one, that I just was determined I was going to get a great shot. And I learned to do it real quickly. Usually you send in like 30-some rolls to a magazine cover and inside spread. I shot 1 roll. at that time. And that was way back when you shot rolls. But it's like I shot one roll, sent it in, and of course the first thing he said, "Where's the rest of it?" And I said, "Oh, that's all I shot." Click, phone went down. You
Yeah,
know, but we got it all in one roll.
we are going to do a show on that, I promise, and you're going to come back. Just that whole idea of well, I'm a photographer now. People have said that to me. They said, well, how come you've done this, you've done that? And in my mind, I've never thought, well, why wouldn't I just be a model, or why wouldn't I be an agent, or why not do it? You know, I think there's that attitude that really just pushes you into whatever your dreams are and make them happen. So I love that.
Yeah, the door opens when you do that. Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, I've got a lot to talk, but if you can answer a couple questions, we've got the audience members have known that you were going to be here. So I have a few questions.
Sure.
And I think this is a great one because this is the question I was going to ask you anyway, but it happens to come from Joyce Carlson. And she says, "Dear Tim, everyone is taking selfies these days. Mine always look terrible. My head is too big, my nose looks funny, the lighting is bad. How do I take the perfect selfie?" From Joyce. So can you give Joyce and all of us a few maybe pointers about taking selfies?
Absolutely. Joyce, great question. I love that. I think that's a question that many people have. And if they don't, I'm just gonna, as a photographer, they should. They should. You know, I put it that way because it's like, I always say, you know, when it comes to a photo, you know, and on Zoom, I mean, this is perfect what we're doing these days. You know, if it's phone, social setting, that doesn't matter. If it's a business meeting, a date, however it works, you know, it's like you've done the hair, right? We put the hair together. We've taken time to do the makeup, you know, you've taken time to get the wardrobe and pick this out. You're grooming, and then you just have horrible lighting on you, you know, and it is all about the lighting. It really is a lot. It makes the beauty. That's what beauty is. They have beauty lighting. It's not beauty shadows, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
I was here smoke and mirrors, and I think smoke and mirrors, you hear about Hollywood and smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors is lighting. It really is. That's all it is.
It is. It's all about that. And you know, I have some wonderful things that I always say, you know, it's like, there's the rules, but it's like beauty. I just find it's give me beauty. You know, that's why I call it, give me that. Why would I want anything after I do so much, and what my situation, why I want to show up to this place is important to me. So it's like, I have to build on that. So I've done all these other things. The biggest thing you always think about is the light source, okay? And I'm going to use a little technical term with that, but your light source, it's like right where I'm sitting right now, I have these huge windows in front of me, and it's natural light. I don't need a lighting because I have all this wonderful natural light, but I'm facing the light, okay? So number one, anytime you're anywhere and you want to do a selfie, opt to not do the selfie if you don't have good lighting right in front of you, okay? It needs to be coming towards you. A lot of times if you're outside, I'll just give a little hint. Sometimes you'll hold it up and you'll see these shadows in the eyes. Anytime you see that, that's your answer. Don't take this one. Okay? And I always say something has to change. So change your location. Either your camera has to change its position, or you need to change your position, or you're going to have to change what the lighting is. Now, the lighting, if it's sunshine, you're not going to change it much. What I can do is if it's a little high, I can lift my head up. Instead of doing like this, can lift the camera and lift my head up, and all of a sudden, usually the sky will fill in those places in my eyes, okay? So you kind of think what the selfie's for, but always face into the light. If you're in a restaurant, if you're at a coffee house, if you're sitting down with friends, I always say, face the light. And if it's too bright, put your sunglasses on outside, okay? Maybe some lighter ones where they can maybe still see your eyes, but have the lighting facing towards you. If you're ever in a place and see, I'm going to show you something real quick I took last night. This is horrible. And this is exactly what way it works in the daytime, but I'm going to show you at night. You know, when we have these romantic times that we're going to go out to dinner. Yep. If you can see this, let me know if you can see this, Bill. Can you see this?
Oh, yes. I don't want to, but yes.
Is that not ugly?
It's not good. It's not good.
I've done my hair, I've got my outfit together, and I think I'm going to get romantic because there's a candle underneath me. Actually, the candle's in front of me a little bit, but if you happen to be in a candle situation, be sure you're madly in love and crazy about that person because they don't want to see that, you know, and neither do you. So
no, it's true, and it's just laugh though because you're giving away our secret that the lighting is so important. I know whenever I go to a restaurant, always make sure I see where the lighting is so I know where I'm going to sit down, you know.
Absolutely.
Come on my face and not be behind me, because then people will say, oh my gosh, you're 110. You know,
Yes.
always want that lighting in front of you, right?
Absolutely, Bill. I love, and you know that it's like, and I look at it this way. I do this whenever I do workshops. I've done, teach the art and design school there in Laguna, or anywhere. It's like always teach. The first thing is make a game of this. Start going out every place you go. Where's your light source? And you may have a couple. You may not be one. If one doesn't work, if the biggest one, the brightest one, it's not working in your favor, look for the second one. Sometimes it's a white wall where that light's bouncing off that wall and bouncing back onto you, which can be a wonderful light, so it's actually softer. But it's like, look for those primary places, play the game, where's my light source? When I walk in someplace, social settings, oh my gosh, how many times you take pictures, you get all these dark places in the eyes, and you're not gonna like that photo. And you don't have to take it that way. Look for that light and face toward it.
Is that the reason then when people do take it, they do talk about, putting the picture up and looking up a little bit? Is that for the light, or is that just the camera angle is good to have up a higher up?
Takes two things there. One is like if the light's by the way, if the light's ever coming up, bad news. Just don't take it. If it's coming down, don't take it. If it's coming out of the ceiling straight down, it's just gonna not look good unless you want to lay down on the floor and look up. And try to fill in the gaps. And you can also try using the little flash, like if it's the iPhone, or if it's, you ever seen at events, they'll have the camera that's connected to, flash connected to the camera. But those are small lights, so they're not going to put out beautiful images. They don't yield beautiful images, but they will fill in the places. And if you have your phone, you got to stand close. So if you have lighting coming from that, stand close. You're going to have to be 2 to 4 feet. If you get more than that away from someone, that little tiny flash like that is not going to cover it. So you can use it to fill in if there's something like, say, really important you wanted to get in that moment and all you had was above. Okay?
Oh,
that help?
I'm going to have everybody send in their selfies this week because I want to see the perfect selfie. So I'll make sure everyone sends them in, and then we'll show them to you and you can let us know what you think about them. Yeah. Well, this is similar to the next question is, and it's Dear Tim and William, I'm Zooming a lot these days. Any suggestions to help me look my best? I know the lighting, camera angle, makeup can make a big difference. Thank you, Genevieve Lyons. So I guess similar with that, the same thing then, you really want the lighting to be in front of you, coming back at you.
Yes. I want to hit this one really good. I thought about this and say, because I see it all the time. I work with clients on Zoom a lot, with the psychic medium work. And especially, it's like whatever you see is what I'm seeing too. Does that make sense? So when you see yourself in there and you realize, oh, if you're thinking that, say, that don't look so good, I'm seeing that too. So it's like, fix it. And I look at, it's a simple thing. Something has to change. So if I can't change the position, let's say I like this, now I'm just going to bring this around so you see. Now, watch the lighting on my face. Now, if I'm facing that wall over here, look how different that is.
Horrible. Yeah, not good.
Yeah. The light's over here. My primary light's this way. I'm looking over here now. That's what I'm seeing too. So it's like, you did all that work today for nothing, and now you're just going to look terrible. And I could continue on. Now, there's some good backlighting. You see outside? Isn't that wonderful? I look great, don't I?
You never look better.
Right? So it's like, we're going to zoom back around and make it pretty. So it's like,
all about the light.
And also the same thing with Zoom. I've seen people go like this. Now, doesn't that look beautiful? Do you see this right here, what I'm talking about? Oh, that's pretty. Now, I guess I could talk like this. Or, bring it up like still. That doesn't look good. Either straight on or bring it up slightly. Especially if you have something that bothers you around here. Bring it up. By the way, I've never seen that on me before.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Great. Now you look great. You look super. You really do, Tim. Hey, and as far as the makeup, Genevieve, you know what? You just, exactly what Tim was talking about, but just know that your makeup's going to have to be a little sharper, a little clearer, lots of good moisturizer, a little bit of your concealer if you want. Try to stay away from a lot of the dull colors. You really don't want to go into anything too dull or too dark. So make sure your blush, again, I'll bring my Billy's Blues blush into play here, but just a soft, beautiful, peachy rose color, something to bring some light to the face, a little bit of a gloss, something to give a bit of brightness. because otherwise you do look a little dull. It's like a television. You do have to brighten up your face a little bit. So just be aware of that. And it's so true, Tim. What we see is what everybody sees. I know the first few, in fact, Wednesdays with William, I had a little bit of a problem with the camera. So my mind went, oh, well, it looks kind of fuzzy to me, but I'm sure everybody else sees me perfectly clear, which was not the case. So exactly what people are saying. So look into the camera. And I always tell my clients that are Zooming, you know, get in front of the camera. Don't just do your makeup and then come down and start to Zoom. Look at your makeup in front of the camera with your lighting, and then you'll see what everybody's going to see. So
absolutely, it's, you know, I think it's important. I really do. It's like I wouldn't go out anywhere looking like, I know, God, this looks horrible, I'm going to go out like this. You know, I want to do something. And so if there's something I can do as natural as lighting, it's easy. It's my given. You know, we have some light somewhere. So put it in front of you, have it coming toward you.
Absolutely. So Tim, here's a question I have for you. You know, in my your signature style event that I give, I always teach women and men how to do the perfect pose. It's part of what I do at the award shows, is I teach people how to do, you know, that perfect Hollywood pose. So for me, I mean, I can get the body in shape, I get everything ready for them, and I have them looking, I think, beautiful. And I usually come and take a big deep breath, you know, and look at the camera. And I've always told them a little bit, and this comes from maybe the world of fashion, but I look just such a slight amount over the actual lens or the, you know, the camera. But for you, let's work together on this. I can get their body looking great, but now what would you recommend for somebody that's, you know, posing in front of the camera as far as facially or what their expression or looking should be? Do you have any advice or help?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
It's like I say, no idea. Yes, it's like a wonderful, wonderful question, because it's those are important too. You know, I know you've talked about this before. Hands can be either a plus or they can really, you know, tear up the photo. So, you know, if in doubt, I always say keep them kind of tilted behind you if that's the case. But when I'm working with people, it's like there's a couple ways I do it. One is, if you know, people who take their photos a lot know their look, and they know where they need to go. Okay, and I'll give for instance, mine. I can do a little kind of sexy thing, you know, give a little squint eye. That's always great for guys. You give a little squint your eyes just a little bit, you know. Ladies, you just blow a little bit, you know, between the lips, a little air between the lips, pops your lips out. What I think is you find what is your style. And I kind of equate mine personally to my personality. Mm-hmm. Bill, you have a very distinct way that you like to be seen and being known through that works for you. That's Bill's kind of signature in that. And mine is always smile, you know, smile, bring it on. So my way is, I was teaching someone, and you know who this is actually, our friends from Belgium. There's a couple of people out there I'll know, on Crystal Cruises. His wife is like a wonderful lady, wonderful couple, and she has had a lot of trouble, past tense, a lot of trouble wanting to have her photo taken. And one of the best things I have found, and it's mine too, is to stand and have your photo taken. A lot of times, even if it's not professional shoot, let's go in social settings. You know, right away, I want to go, I'm standing there and I'm trying to look good. Well, I find a little anxiety pop up in that, because I'm standing there waiting for you to get ready, try to get together, we're all here, and I'm trying to look good, make sure my chest is up, and I'm standing up straight, shoulders are down, you know, things that are all good, you know, like make sure your tummy's not out. So it's like doing all these things, and what happens is I wear out my energy, and it's like I don't look good all of a sudden. So what I do is I do a little 3-second. I like to do the count. And I love it if I can get the person taking the photo, and a lot of times I will just ask, please do this. And if you give me a 1, 2, 3, hey, I can bring it right on 3, you know. And if I can bring it back, close my eyes again, or just bring it back, bring your energy back for a minute. 1, 2, 3, you know, 1, 2, 3. You know, I can do that. And I call it McDonald's. For me, it's McDonald's. You know, it's that commercial look, but that works for me. Yeah. If for you, you know, it's GQ, you know, hit that look. And what do you know is GQ? Somebody else could be, you know, very much highly into their fashion and their look, and theirs is not the big smile. It's Vogue, you know, when you 1, 2, 3, and Vogue.
And you know your look.
Yes, you pull that on. So I think personally, it comes from inside. You got to know what it is that how you want to present yourself and what works most natural. If you're not a smiler, smiling real big is probably not going to look all that great anyway.
Right.
You know, but how can you find your way just to feel good and comfortable?
I tell people to practice. I say, you know, people in celebrities, and I mean, they know their look. It's 1, 2, 3, boom. They have that look down, and they know what works for them. When I've done smiles, I've done not. I think I'm so used to the modeling and runway industry. It's like, just look dumb and grumpy. Don't smile. You know what I mean? I'm used to clenching my back, right? That's another for the men. We always used to clench our teeth in the back to give you the jawbone. And anyway, that's another whole show. But Tim, let me show you a couple of slides here if I can. Hey, Daniel.
I have one question for you. I was going to wait until the end, but then it kind of seemed like it would fit. Somebody said, in terms of posing, they say, I always hear that, oh, this is my good side. This is my good side. Is there a good side, and how do we find that good side?
I'll bring both of you however you want. I want to use my own experience to say with myself, and I'll just expose myself. I have a little situation here. This eye, through the years, wants to cross. It wants to kind of come into the center. So I have to do extra work in order to make sure that eye comes straight on in a photo. And some I can feel it's tiny bit off, and some friends say, I don't notice anything, but I do. So I see a little bit that comes in. So it's even more of a catch. But this eye happens to also be my bigger eye. A lot of people have a larger eye. That's the one you want to go with. There's nothing like anytime in a photo, if you turn your head this way or turn your head this way, and the bigger one, you should always want to bring that side to it. Typically, that's going to be it, because that eye is the larger one. The smaller one, as the photo comes back, that depth comes back, it's okay to have the smaller one. To have the small one and this big one back here looks weird. So it's like, I tend to say, go with what you look. And if it's not your eye, that they both happen to be perfect, right on, I don't care to talk to you anymore. But it's like, what I would suggest is, once Bill said, in practice, just look and see, take a few shots of yourself and see which one feels comfortable. And one's going to just draw you in more than the other.
Yep, and it really will. Generally, just get in front of a mirror, and even with your phone, or have someone do it. Look at this side, look at this side, look at this side, look at this side. And you'll start getting a feel for when you're in front of the camera. Your body will just suddenly go into that. In fact, I have a couple of shots. I just had to talk about posing for just a second. So, this is what I've worked on for many, many years, of course, is posing on the red carpet. And again, is there a right and wrong? I don't know. But for me, I look at this and I say, you know what? I just think that it's, I don't like to see a hand on a hip like that, and I don't like the legs crossed. So for me, the next slide, Jamie, this is a client, and you can see, I think this is the perfect look on the red carpet. And so like you're saying, Tim, it's the energy, the hands are down, the body is angled towards a certain way, and I think it's just such a beautiful, clean look. So I just think that's, you know, a good way to go. And then you can see the difference here. I mean, again, personal, there's certainly not right or wrong, but for me, and at least my clients I work with, I just tell them to keep your weight back, drop your hands, forget about hands on the hips, forget about crossing, forget all of this, turn your body slightly. And for me anyway, I think it's a real perfect pose. So
the hand, I love the soft hands on the one that's more elegant. She looks much more elegant. It's not just about what she's wearing, but she's wearing it inside. It's coming out.
I think it works for me. Anyway, Tim, thank you so much for that. You know what I'd like to do if we could? We've got to look at some of your photos. I mean, I love your stories. I know I've heard some of them, but I have some favorites. I went to your website. It's timcourtneyphotography.com, and just kind of went through some of my favorites. But if you don't mind, maybe even just tell us just a quick little something about the shoot. But I have to show you one of my favorites. And everybody in my audience, I have to tell you, we are a musical theater group. You know, we listen to Glenn talk about musical comedies. We've got Eileen, we've got people here from the stage and that are performed, and we all love musical theater. And of course, Shirley Jones is I mean, to me, I'm so excited about this. I'm doing a backflip right now. I don't know if you can see me. So what was it like to shoot Shirley? Do you have any insight about Shirley Jones?
Yes, it's like, you know, wonderful. One of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. And that's the word I would use, sweet, kind. And she is so, I want to use the word, I hate to throw this word out, but classy, really is. She really is. She's sophisticated. She has a sophistication about her. Interesting is she's not that way in her partnerships with men. You know, and Marty Ingalls was there. I can easily say this. But herself, the way she holds herself and thinks of herself, once again, inside out, is she has this very sophisticated just way about her, the way she moves, the way she talks, the way she thinks, reacts. It's a beautiful lady, very easy to work with. We photographed her, I photographed her house in the valley, and just had a great time. And she gave me one of her books that she had written, signed that and gave it to me while we were there. And I just think of her as elegance when I think of her.
That makes me happy. Thank you. You know how it is when you kind of fall in love with somebody and you're a fan, then you hear maybe they're not as perfect as you think they are. So that makes me happy. Shirley Jones, we love you. All right, next shot, I pulled this one up, is, you know what made me love this so much? You know what I've been doing the last few weekends is I took my movie day on Saturday or Sunday, and I've been watching Bob Hope and Phyllis Diller movies. Every Sunday, they did like half a dozen or so together, and talk about just, I mean, and again, people that know me know that I live in the 60s, 50s sometimes, but I love this shot. I love her. What was she like?
You know, I love comedians, always so different from what we know of them. Very serious. Phyllis is a very serious person. I think that she blew me away with how smart she is, her intelligence, her wisdom. She's very sharp. She was very sharp. She's not so sharp right now, but she was very sharp at the time. You know, she has lots going on. I think she's a lady that once she gets into it, I don't think there's anything she thought she couldn't do. That was my experience. She has a huge photo of Bob Hope. Funny you said that. Right as you walk into her doorway in Brentwood, she has a huge photograph there. So it was really, really, really cool. And it's like, I also talked to her. She was I was trying to get her to loosen up in our photo shoot a little bit. And so I found this little tiny era nook that was really cool with a little love seat in the window. And I thought, okay, I'm going to play one on her. Let's see how this goes. And she was so serious, I wasn't sure how she'd go with it. And so I said, she said, oh, this is my favorite part of my whole house. And that was my psychic part. So I went in there and said, okay, great. So what I want you to do is, Phyllis, I said, I want to get over here across from your sofa. I want you to get on top of your sofa and lay across the back of it on top and roll down off onto the cushions below. And she just looked at me like this and goes, you're good. She said, you got me on that. But she started laughing then, and then we kind of took off and we just had a good time, and she decided to give me her little roll of fun shots. And this was one.
Tim, I love it. I mean, it's just the things that you get from these people is like no other photography or no other photographer I've ever seen. The next slide is, now this is such a beautiful shot, and I know you have this is probably, you have a story that goes, but you know, for me, just as a consumer, somebody looking at your pictures and looking at pictures, to see this shot is so not what you would probably think as a celebrity photography or photo, but there's so much emotion and so much feeling, and there's just such a amazing shot. I had to pull it up and hear what you have to say about it.
Thank you. I could go on for a lot on this one. I'll save a little bit. This particular one, I will say this is a very special photograph in many ways. You know, I had the honor to spend time with her at her home in North Carolina during this time. And all celebrities I've worked with, her and I got the closest. We became friends. Super lady. What I will say about this particular image is this happens to be with two other people other than myself. Oprah Winfrey and former President Obama and Michelle have this particular image in their homes. So it's like, so it's very special. Love the lady to death. It's like, miss her. She's so much wisdom, as we all know. We all get to appreciate it. So, but I loved the laugh. You know, she was telling me something funny, a story, and she, you know, I caught it. So,
you caught that exact moment, because there is so much coming out from that photo that it's wild. I mean, I just sat and looked at it for like 5 minutes, and my mind kept going. I said, wait a minute, get back to work. You gotta get back to work. You know? But it was just like this adventure looking at this photo, and it was just, oh, I thank you for it. Okay, I have another one here I wanted to ask you, if I may. Oh, you know, and again, to see this, the energy that comes out from what you capture and bring out with these celebrities, because so often we see them as just, you know, a black and white photo or a photo, but I mean, I've never seen such energy coming out of them. And when people talk about, well, what is energy? Well, you just see it coming from them. And I love this shot of Valerie. Was this outside or inside? I'm trying to kind of get a setting for this.
This was in West Hollywood in a little private made park by Thomas Shoes, the famous designer in LA. And he, it's like, we did the photo shoot at his place there. And Valerie, of course, I love her death too. I did 2 different photo shoots with Valerie. They hired me to do another one later on. Great energy with it. I will express this part. It's like, that's one of the things I think that why I got hired a lot and why I did a lot of stuff I did. I've shot magazine covers in 20 seconds. You know, I'll say that. A magazine cover, not a bunch, but you know, they literally would give me sometimes, you have 10 minutes, we need the spread, and that's what the publicist or whoever was working with would give me sometimes. And with her, you know, with anybody I work with, I have a way of doing this. I don't want to drag it out because your energy is going to here and it's going to go right here. So if we can get in there and I can get you right in where I want you and get that energy right where I want it, right in the beginning, the top, we're going to be done in 5 minutes to a half hour. And get everything we need. So it's like, it's my job. I always find to keep that energy here real quick, but you got to know what you're doing and how to set that up so it doesn't drag down. And that's the same with her. Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful, oh my gosh. I just, again, you know, what a wonderful woman, and the people that you have had, that you've had to work with. And, you know, of course, the stories, like you say, we got to do like a special 6-hour Tim Courtney edition. Next, I think, and just finally be again, I just saw the Golden Girls, of course, because I have to watch it every day. I mean, again, there's another show. We're all going to talk about our favorite episodes. And it's sad that I can say about every line from the show, but most of us, I think, can, especially probably a lot of my audience here. But again, what an amazing shot of B. It's just something I've never seen from her before.
Thank you. Actually, it was this shot and Ian McKellen, because Ian McKellen always likes to be slicked up and have him looking like you know, just somebody's father, as I'm using the quote from Neil Bolton, who was the artistic director for Life magazine. Life was still going at this time, and he gave me a call. He saw this photo in Ian McKellen's and saw it printed, it's like in the magazine I shot for, and he says, he called me up and says, "Who are you?" And I said, "What are you talking? Who is this? Who are you?" I was thinking, he says, you know, no, these people that you've taken photos of, do not let anybody see this side of it. And you got B. Arthur looking like a girl, Ian McKellen looked like a father. And this was simple. You know, I had no idea what to do really, but it's like, I just brought all my stuff with me. I remembered our house. I noticed right away everything was outdoors. You have to go to 3 different sections to her house. They don't just all connect. I thought she loves outdoors. All the windows were open. So I had her just go outside and do what she wanted to do. And she kind of picked some flowers and she sat down on the bench. And I think it's that freedom to be yourself, you know, that works with working with me in that regard. And I just allow that. And she sat down, we did that. And that photo was picked out by famous Herb Ritz to be the lead photo in the out auction in LA, which was huge. At the time, the Pacific Design Center. So, and I'd only been doing photography 2 years at that time.
Oh, I think you just don't see, you know, celebrities necessarily photograph this. So I'm like, oh my gosh, B. Arthur has feet.
And she has bad feet. She knows it, but she never wears shoes. So she didn't in the show. Barely seldom will she ever have shoes on in the show. The Golden.
No, that's true. She always had those white boots too, with no heel or very comfortable shoes.
There you go.
I love your work, and again, we could go on and on about that because it excites me, and I love it, and
Thank you.
It's such a talent. But what I would like to do, because we have some time left, and of course, people can go to your site, they can look. Let me ask you a question. I don't mean to throw you off, but if people did want to shoot or shoot with you, is this something you're still doing, or is it something that it has to come through publicists, or do you still just pick up a phone and say, yeah, I'll do a shoot?
I do. It's like I have an assistant does all my booking for me. It's like, but it's like, yes. I still do photo sessions. I don't do as many these days. It's like in the past couple years, I've really pulled away because I do more of the psychic medium work pretty much full time. But it's like, but I still do them. It's like, especially when it's something that interests me. You know, headshots, we can do them, but there's other great photographers that can do those too out here, especially. But it's like I love doing something that's special. Like I got Diane Shore, you know, the famous jazz singer. I got called for her. I shot her last CD cover. That was the first this year. Yeah.
Good.
So it's like that was fun. So yes, I still do some of it right now.
If you get a call and someone says, "Okay, I'm personal friends with William," or "I saw William's Wednesday," you all right. Well, I'm ready. I think that's so wonderful. Tim, I want to talk to you a little bit about. So this is so wonderful. You've gone from photography and this career, and obviously this other gift has been with you all along, but now you're really becoming known throughout the world almost as much with your photography, but because of your psychic abilities as a psychic medium. Am I saying that correct? And tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, it is. That has been amazing. You know, I've been doing it since I was probably 25, but it's like I was always afraid of what everybody would think. I just put it out there. You know, it's just a concern what everyone would think. And I had my own background of what I thought about it. And I realized, you know, I woke up a couple years ago just realizing that those weren't my belief systems. I really didn't know. They weren't mine. And I was borrowing mine from people I'd heard in the past and what other people had said and what I've read about scams and all this stuff, scams and shams. So it's like you know, and I realized there was something inherently here that was there. It was that for me to do. And I had to go back to think about the first person, you know, some of the people that I worked with in the very beginning and didn't even know I was working with them. It just was coming through. And I'll give a quickie on that. My second time I ever did this, so getting a facial, back to beauty, in West Hollywood there, and I would talk to receptionists about it. And next thing about what I was doing, she's, "Oh, I love hearing about psychic stuff." Well, I didn't have anything. I was just talking, and all of a sudden she come to the room where I was getting mine, and I sat up and looked at her and I said, she says, "You have something to say to me." I said, "I do." I said, "I want to tell you." Remember, I was newer at this. And I said, "I do." I said, "There's something going on in your ovaries." And I'm like, how do I know what ovaries look like, you know? But I said, but I know. I get that interpretation comes through for me. And I said, "There's something going on in your ovaries." I said, "I feel heat there." And I said, "I'm not a doctor. I want to be clear on that. I'm not a doctor." But I said, "I want to encourage you to go to a doctor soon." And I knew it that powerful was that powerful that I knew this is so. So I did do that. And back in the day when there's voice machines, it was like 3 weeks later and I get a voice message when I came in, you know, and it says, "Tim, this is so-and-so." Said, she said, "I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and helping other people." She said, "I went to the doctor. I have 3 tumors in my ovaries, and if they burst, I could die." And that changed my life because I realized then, you know, it's not everything serious like that, but that was a serious one. But it was a big one. I think it was that push to get me going that says, you know what, if she didn't know, was it good for her just to die, or was it good for her to know so she could go get help and not have that happen? And that was very powerful.
Yeah, what a gift. And the fact that you kind of come full circle or come back to really devoting a lot of your time. And I know you've been traveling all over doing shows or seminars, or I don't know what the correct word would be, but I know you've been working with a lot of private clients. And I know you've got some exciting news we're going to share in just a couple minutes, but I'd like to bring on, if we could, if you wouldn't mind, again, I would love to kind of get an idea of this and how this works. Could we bring on a guest and maybe you could talk to her a little bit and see if there's anything.
Let's go for it.
Picking up from her. And this is, you've never met, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lara Boulet, who is an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman. She's actually a business coach. She's helped myself and Susan Stein, all of us with our work, our websites and our publicity and she's an amazing woman. She actually is co-author with me with the Model's Workbook. And besides that, Lara and I have known each other since we were 18, or she was 17, I was 18 when we met in college. And so she's everything to me, but Lara's never met Tim. Hi, Lara, welcome.
Thank you so much. Now I'm sitting here and my natural lighting has gone away. So it's a thing. Oh, hi Carter. Hi Susie. Hi Susan. Hi everyone. It's lovely to be here.
Oh, thank you. Because everybody's probably seeing your name because of course she's at the show and she's helping and keeping her name on Facebook. They see Lara Boulet, Lara Boulet. So now everybody gets to see the beautiful Lara, former model, former actress, and former dance partner. So we've done a lot together. But I will just I'll just shut up. I'm going to sit here and have some Perrier, and Tim, and you and Lara, or Tim, how would you go about it? I'll let you two chat.
Sure. We have never met before. We've never had an email, a text, phone call, nothing until we just saw each other online here just before the show.
Yeah.
So the most we've had is a hello.
It was a very brief hello, Tim. We did acknowledge each other. It's like, yes, we exist. Here we are. Yeah.
Exactly, we exist. Yeah, let's go a little bit. Thank you for being open, first of all, to this and being willing, because it is public. But, you know, I do live readings as a medium, which is connecting with people who have passed away. In fact, I know there's some people probably online who know some of the people I've worked with. If I haven't worked with them. Same with the psychic side. The psychic side always works, and for me, it's different for everybody. I don't tell you a lot of stuff that's going to happen out there, because how would you know? You know, if I walk away, oh, thank you for that $1 you gave me, and it's like, you know, and good luck. But it's like I really concentrate and look at what's going on where you are today, what's happening now, so that we can get to the future that you really would like to have. That's pretty much how it kind of works. So let's go into a little bit. So it's very interesting, but I see you highly connected to being a girl, your time as a girl. It's like, and this is very much part of your life that I see, is that right now, it's like I see your footsteps and how you're walking in life right now. And the word I want to use is I'm hearing is arduous. It's like the word, it feels heavy. There's a heavy footstep. So it's like I feel like I'm kind of plodded. It's not a real smooth journey right now. It feels like they're kind of to the side. I'm kind of weighing back here as I walk. And what I get in that is that there's a need for, it's funny, it says not elegant. But it's like, it's what I'm hearing. It's like, is not elegant. To you, elegance is important, and it's something who you are. I would say, because I just heard a while ago about dancer, you know, there's something about that. And like, once you're a dancer, when you were, I keep getting back to your childhood and the need for freedom. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes.
And so that's the need for freedom as a child and as the adult. I feel like that has transferred for you. And there's still that need for that spirit that gets to be free. Does that make sense to you right now?
Yes, absolutely. Spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like in that, I'm going to say, get a little further. This really has a lot also to do with relationship for you, as well as career. Okay. And right now, I'll just hit this quickly. I don't want to take too long with these things, so I'll make this short, because usually this is a half hour, an hour. So it's like, but with this, it's like, in your career, I want to help you out with something right now. You are in a place of making a transition decision, okay? You haven't quite decided to do it yet, though, okay? And I won't be specific right now, but I'm going to tell you it works out to your good, go do it, okay? And I know you know what that is. It kind of goes like this.
That was very subtle. No one got that but us, Tim. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't want to say it out loud so everybody knows what's going on, but it has to do with that. And I know specifically that you're looking to increase William's rate by $100 an hour. That's what I'm seeing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, that's where you go. Click. Tim's off the air.
No, it's so interesting to sit here though, because from knowing Lara and of course our conversations, we talk daily, and knowing exactly what she's going through and knowing exactly where she is in her life, and even the footsteps. She has a group called Million Women Walking. I mean, all these things, even words that you've said and put out of her, are just amazing, and her dancing, the way she is with her body, and there's just so much that you said that I'm just here. I can't believe this. I cannot. And just even from, and we won't go into a lot. You two can talk anytime, or we'll all talk later. But you know, the whole idea of Lara and the transition and taking on more clients, and the move, possibly a big move, and I mean, it's just, it's amazing the things. It's like she and I were talking about everything that you just brought up. It's amazing.
I want to connect to that because I don't want to leave you out there, Laura. I want to make sure that you're clear on that part. Just because there's more things we could, but we'll hit just end here. But say I want to encourage you to go through with it, because what I keep hearing is you need to rise. It's time to rise. You know so. You know so.
Absolutely.
It's like, yes, this is the part where the girl transfers back into the woman, okay? But here's the funny one. You're looking back to the little girl for the freedom, and the freedom comes in you doing what it is that you know is to step up, okay? That's where your freedom comes. Your spirit is big, and it's asking, don't push us down, let us go. Let us be big. And it's like, that is all in your future. I can easily say that. It's just asking you to step into it both feet and walk elegantly.
Which she does. She walks in a pair of pumps like nobody else. Which you do. Which you do.
There's an interpretation for you, Tim. Okay.
No, but it's so funny. It's so funny you even said that, because what we talked earlier or the last couple of days, and they said, Laura, you're out of control. You're just out. I mean, she's just busting out. So anyway, gosh, thank you. Thank you. So, I mean, fascinating to watch, Tim. It really is. And Lara, thank you for being here. I'm going to, whether you know it or not, I'm going to tell people that you may join us next week on the show. So.
Oh, okay. I might. It sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. It's lovely to meet you. Thanks so much.
Laura.
All righty. Thank you. And Tim, again, thank you. That's so, I love to see that. I love to hear that. And knowing Lara and knowing so much about it, it really is just spot on and very exciting. Now, you have got, speaking of, Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, bring him on, bring him on.
I am here. How's it going? I tell you what, just listening to the whole thing, I had smiles ear to ear, so it was really fun to watch that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking now we have this triangle because now we're all officially connected because, of course, Daniel has been an important and integral part of my show, Wednesdays with William. But coming up in September, I think, do we have a slide? Or Tim,
we sure do.
Yes.
Oh, Tim, it's great. So psychic, yeah.
Yes, we're on. It's like starting the 15th at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays. We'll be doing a show, and part of it will be, it's like we'll have some guests every now and then that will be in, some people have been in readings with me, some of the people that are psychic or have connections to doing these things that are elevate your spiritual life, elevate your life period, as physically or relationship-wise. So that'll be a part of it, as well as what we just did. I'm going to do some live readings every week. So we'll have some people that can ask questions and answers. Of course, we'll do quick Q&As. A lot of questions usually come up in this type of arena. So happy to do that. And we'll do some, people can send their name in. And the following week, we can do one, say, listen, I would love to have a reading next week. And then we'll do one, you know, for you the following week if you get picked. But we'll be doing some of that every week. And we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking to make it fun, inviting, just entertaining and insightful. And I think Daniel is the perfect person to be partnering with on this. He's got that about him too. And he has promised to wear a Speedo. And so it's like
on my background of being a collegiate swimmer, but you know, that was a good, you know, 15 years ago at this point.
Ever since he's told me that, it's all about the Speedos now. So it's like, you know, I thought if that brings them in, let's do the Speedo.
But also in talking about your love of coffee and donuts and little pastries and things like that too, William mentioned it at the very beginning of this show, just to bring that personal inviting point back.
Absolutely. About that. It's a great time if you're on East Coast time. That's 6 o'clock. You know, get your coffee if it's tea that you drink or something else you want to drink. But you know, I'm a coffee guy, so it's like an espresso. Sounds wonderful. Join me. Bring that really great mug of yours, the one that makes you feel the best, and let's have a good time together.
And Daniel, they can get that then, Tim, from your website as far as Facebook. You'll be
yes. At the website, you can go and sign up on the newsletter. There's a newsletter there. Sign up for that, and it's like, and you'll be sent the link each week. Or you can go to the website and find it there. They'll be on Facebook too, but the website's going to be easiest.
I cannot wait for it. You two are going to be a great team. As long as you don't call it Tuesdays with Tuesdays with Kim and you don't wear sequin jackets. We're not in competition here, so I'm excited.
It's the Palm Springs Psychic Medium. Tim Courtney, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Tim, you are, again, not only such a good friend, but just I get excited looking and looking at your work and being around you and just being around your talent. It just makes me so happy. Thank you for spending this hour with us today. I mean, I hope you'll come back and we'll do some more.
Thank you, William. It's like, you know, you've been a huge supporter, actually. One of those people that have pushed me along.
What I'm calling next week is everything you've always wanted to know about makeup or William, but we're afraid to ask. So like I said, I'm not going to have a special guest. I may bring Lara back for a few moments, but you know, through the years, I'm always asked certain questions over and over and over, whether it's about makeup or fashion or hair or actually even the entertainment industry, how to get into the entertainment industry. So if you have somebody that maybe wants to get into the industry, I'm going to have some tips for them next week. I'm going to have really just, again, my family show. It'll be you, it'll be myself, it'll be Daniel, and I'm going to answer every question I can about anything you want to know, whether it's about myself or about makeup, fashion, anything. So I hope you can join us. I think, Daniel, do we have a slide?
Whoop, sorry about that.
That's okay. Oh, well, there we go. So that was, if you can go back one slide, I just wanted to show you'll be seeing this on Facebook. Those are the 2 new eyeshadows that next week will be available. They're called Champagne and Chocolate. It's a soft, light, beautiful all over color. And of course, that warm color for the corner of the eyes. And then I'm going to sit there, and our special guest next week will be William Squire. So here I am giving an interview, but you will be interviewing me next week, Daniel.
Yes, that is correct. This is actually going to be one of my favorite shows, I think, to date, because I'm going to be able to take a little bit of control, and we're going to find out what makes you tick, William.
Very good. You shut me up and you take charge. I think I have a quote here. If you
sure do.
Quote.
1 second. There we go.
There you go. I just wanted to always like to leave everybody with the thought that I think about, and this is something I try to think about. Never get tired of doing little things for others. Sometimes those little things occupy the biggest part of their hearts. Something that always brings a bit of a tear to my eye. I love that. So I hope that you'll all be good and try to remember that. Next week, I will see you here, same Wednesdays with William at 2 o'clock. Answer or send in your questions if you have any to the website. Sign up for the newsletter. And until next week, be happy, be healthy, and be beautiful. So thank you.
Yes, once again, next week we are going to be having my interview session with William, which I'm super excited about that. Once again, today you can find all of Tim's photos at timcourtneyphotography.com, or you can find out more about his psychic medium venture at timothycourtney.com. We will see you next week. I'm super excited. Once again, have a fantastic day. Send in all of your questions to William ahead of time so we can make sure we know what makes William tick. Once again, every Tuesday, Wednesdays with William, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a great week.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about